Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay, today, lucky days and also about the current keynote. According to the current keynote, in our system, we have 24 keynotes. And this particular period right after the September, we're starting turning into the winter. The winter keynotes there's 4 segments, and one of the first ones is called the cold dew, which is first time. Those maybe who are in warmer climate areas might not notice, but me in Europe and traveling right now, you can notice the really cool mornings, maybe a little bit of the frost, the wind, the change in our body, in our surroundings. We just have like the kind of zesty morning feel to it. This is a time where you want to kind of let your hair down. You want to be allow the wind slightly linger around your neck area. Just have a more like a freedom. This is a time when if we exercise, we don't want to sweat. We don't want to push ourselves. It has to be taken very easy, very conscientious about the movement, that we really don't exaggerate that young qualities of our actions. So what's happening in the nature, or what farmers used to do, this is where we also provide the harvest. This is a time when everything was mature, we putting in a storage, and the storage is closed. There's also something that metaphysically speaking, we realize that what we have planted, this also is, that's all we have. And there's a kind of reality check right now to look at it, the fruition of the year, our intentions. There's only way to look at the truth as we looking at what's in our storage. The interesting that in the South, typically the winter crop has been planted, and especially when I travel in Latvia, all the fields in those areas are a turn a very bright green. So practice without sweat, do not tonify young, go to bed early, and just generally slow down. Speaking of some lucky days, and these are very general lucky days, as I mentioned, today is the double 9. It's the young of the young. So I really need to kind of also settle myself in, and it's like, well, this is a special day because it's a 9th lunar, based on a lunar calendar, 9th month and the 9th day. So number 9 is the highest young number. The young numbers are all like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Those are young chi numbers. When we have even numbers like 2, 4, 6, 8, those are yin numbers. And this particular day, in my personal experience, 10 years ago was the day when I also met my Taoist teacher in China. So I'll share that later. In November, there's a list of November 1st, there's a list, but standout is the December 18th. So if you're planning anything in the November, December, and January, the numbers like 18th and 7th is very auspicious. So in many, many ways, how you can use these lucky numbers is when you have to make decisions regarding the business, or regarding health, or regarding traveling, signing contracts, or moving. So please contact me and I can be more specific. But these are the generally good days to embrace. The year of the young fire horse will begin on February 17th of 2026. So we have quite a bit of time still during the year of a snake. Just a few days after my surgery in September, September 22nd, I was participating at the fire ceremony, a shamanic fire ceremony in Latvia. It was extremely seen. It was right within, on the 22nd was the fall equinox. And this image on the bottom right is from that fire ceremony that was like a 2-story high flames. And this is my photo from the moment that I thought this is really prepares for upcoming young fire horse year. When year of a horse, in general, you probably have heard a lot of things for upcoming kind of also this decade is a period 9, which is also relates to the fire chi, fire energy. But I love what the saying by the shamans without horse is like a bird without wings. Usually when we see the shamans, is opportunity like working with the fire or also riding the horse, is that their way being a true mediators and connectors between the heaven and earth. So when we talk about the year of the wood snake or yin wood snake, and what is this year has been in each of our reflective lives, was definitely preparing for something like almost moving under the earth. It's going like almost going under your skin, like pulling out the things that maybe we didn't even want to look at it or we didn't want to experience. And this was just a fantastic opportunity this year to release the what's being kind of stored, what's being hidden, what's being kind of suppressed. And we still can do that. And I'm inviting that, very highly inviting this to take advantage of the next few months that are left during the wood snake year. And if there's anything that we have that deeply at heart, you're feeling that could be even more deeper released and forgiven, even forgiveness for yourself, to yourself, take advantage of that. When the year of a horse enters the grounds, it could start very rapidly. It could start very strong, and we have to be prepared for where as good reflective component has been taking place from the year of a snake, that you can move towards the actions during the year of a horse. So horses also teach us how to be present. So fire rules the heart and eyes, and how we see or view things through love, and also how we stand up and allowing to be seen. So just capturing the energy of the snake is the inner element of the snake is the yin fire. But this particular year was the element of the wood was driving, so was feeding it. So all this navis, all this maybe kind of unexpected, maybe thought or shock or just appearing without really knocking, but just appearing, this is that surprise element of the wood chi, wood element during this year of a snake. Tending the inner soil for the new life to rise, slowing down to shed the skin of the fear and limitations. Even myself going through the treatments and realizing or facing the challenge, the health challenge, this was more not as physical. I mean, it was physical experience as well, but it was more energetical and spiritual experience through making decision. And what am I making? The year of a snake really helped me personally to identify where is the potential to transform. And decision making in a settings when you have to make a steps that you have never done before. For example, that was my very first surgery ever in my life. And also, this was my very first time I said and I agreed with my energy body and my spirit body to kind of release the thyroid, allowing that to be like making like an offering. And looking back, to that, the very rapid, very precise way of making decision, I find that Year of a Snake allowed me to contemplate and really intuitively feel it, the pros and cons. And the decision making was not like hysteric of the sense, but it was just really contemplative, down to earth, meditative experience. So the transformation is obvious, and what we're transforming into it is going to be not something chaotic, but something that is organized. So when we think about the fire or in nature, the fire, if we are getting too close to the fire, right, we can burn. If we are standing in a proper distance, you can gain the light, the warmth, the transformation, because two elements that are typically are the conductors of the change are the water or fire. And this particular year, when we talk about energy of the horse, is definitely a shift, energetical shift, that is, as we reflect and contemplate during the Year of a Snake, this reflection can be put into actions. As example would be my personal way of telling myself the opportunities that I would like to be part of this life journey, and leave things like teaching Feng Shui and astrology, and keep consulting and keep serving others. This all was gave it a different deep meaning why. And this is the Year of a Snake again. What are we intuitively at heart feeling? What are we allowing to manifest? The horse, the upcoming year, it expands our outer world. So you can think about galloping horse is like an open field, but there's a lot of freedom. So this freedom is not chaotic. Horse does by nature brings brings this ground, like the snake prepares for like understanding what it means to be grounding, like how to ground yourself. And then during the Year of a Horse, it's very important that you maintain that practices. If you have a daily practice, if you have some meditation practices, if you know how to, let's say, I do my yoga, I do my qigong, I have a cup of tea, I connect to the nature. So all these, your unique way of grounding it's going to be very important for this fast-paced, flamboyant year of a horse. So this is why the rituals is really helpful to regulate your energy or to contain your energy. So keep your fire creative, not reactive. So this is also very important that we becoming better observers. The training that you get from Year of a Snake, as you remember, snake does not have eyelids. Snake sees and feels the ground 24/7. So this practice we utilizing and bringing over into the year of a horse. So try to keep your creative eyes, fire creative, but not reactive. Balance movement with rest, hydration, and time in nature. These are the very short guidance for upcoming Year of a Horse. Great news that just shortly in the mid-November, after my last procedure, the next procedure that I'm having in Latvia for the cancer treatment, I'm going to be going back to China for a month. And today, exactly 9/9, 10 years ago, on the bridge in China, I randomly had this conversation with one of my sifus, my first introduction to the Taoist, like really Taoist experience with Dao Ya Zhang. And this was on the very left is my very first image that we took. I took a picture together. At that time, I did not know that she was one of the highest priestesses of the Taoist priestess in Hangzhou, China. And just a few years later, and this was our last meeting in 2019, which is I'm very excited to see her again in just a couple of weeks, since I'm going to be traveling back to Hangzhou. And there is another interesting thing that have taken place during the 10-year cycle. The studying, observing, appreciating, embracing the Taoist teachings, philosophy, and experience and practice. And was when I'm sitting at this big big hall, like main hall at in Hangzhou, and looking through the Chinese books, these like sacred books, using my Google Translator one way or the other, just because I don't speak Chinese. And I was thinking to myself, what can I do? There's no way at that rate, at that speed of light, that I can absorb the information and learn what is out there for me. And that was like deeply, like honestly to myself, I said, it's like, yes, I can sit and look at the Chinese books, but there's no way I can right away to learn the language. And that year, when I returned back to US, I ended up meeting the group of students through Sifu Kelly, and that's how I also got connected to Sifu Johnson, Jerry Allen Johnson, and Sifu Will, and other of the practitioners for the last 5 years that brought me to a great exposure to Taoism, Buddhism, and Christian mysticism. But my very, very first steps in all endeavor started in China in 2015. And I'm very, very grateful. That was also the time when one of my teachers, Lu Ming, passed away. And that was my first time stepping into China. And this year, by returning 10 years later on this journey, is very significant for me, as having this year of a snake closure. So I will not be available during the mid-November till mid-December. And that's why I was posting the offering to everyone, doing the special readings before my departure and also the after departure. So I will stop sharing the screen that I love to engage in our conversations rather than and answer the questions as you stop share. Okay. Okay. Right. I don't know how I make this. How about that? Okay, that's my can. Okay. So any questions, I would love to maybe have a discussion or questions that you've been, any feng shui questions, astrology questions, while I have, and more information I'll add to the newsletter as a follow-up.
If you're a wood horse, no, fire horse, like I
Yeah.
am,
Yes.
what can I do to end out this year, or what can my people do to end out
Mhm.
this year strong to be ready for next year?
Okay. First of all, is to be very very mindful about the energy resources, like not overextend yourself, especially during the winter. Okay, because right now we are in a month of the dog, and for horse it's a really really good month. So what does it mean? The month of the dog allows us, and then we can, and but then we going to be transitioning to the month of the pig. So month of the dog allows us to really examine your relationships, who you have in your community, who are your friends, who are your colleagues, who are like, it's like that very honest self-reflective aspect to kind of weed the energies or of either people or projects that don't serve you, no longer serve you, because you entering to the yin timing, which is going to be November, December, January. Those are the cold winter month, and by nature it's almost like everything takes place like under the ice, under the surface, right? And it's like then we don't really wiggle, we don't really fight, we just prepare ourselves. So if you, as a fire horse, preparing for your year 2026, what's important is use this current energy of the yin wood snake, the strategies that you have developed, the opportunities that you start visualizing, like seeing it, strategize for yourself to execute in a very rapid way. Now, I mean, horses are always competitors, right? That you're competing more with yourself. So try to also accept that we don't need like absolute like perfection. Good enough is good enough. So again, be conservative with your energy. Awareness, the year of a snake, the experience, if you have started something that is as a tradition, like continuous, on a daily basis, this is a perfect time to bring this practice effortlessly, almost like, to the next year. What I mean by that, for example, how many times those who have children, we remind, brush your teeth or wash your hands, right? You repeat, repeat it. So the year of a snake allowed us to have this opportunity to train and get into the kind of routine. And then because as soon as we adopt this routine during the year of a snake, we bring that to the year of the horse as almost like it becomes as our daily ritual. So we don't have to, I'd say, like not struggle, but it comes basically part of your daily, like, cup of tea. you don't waste your chi, you don't waste your energy, okay, to like, shall I do this or shall I not? So it's already going to be part, it's integrated. What else? Well, you also, those who turn 60, in a Buddhist tradition, we know that this is a time when you you finally become a human being, because you have experienced every single combination that has been integrated between yin and yang, 5 elements, and 12 animals. So that makes 60. So you have lived through already every single proportion, every single situation in through your lifetime. And now the next 60 years allows you to kind of plow it through. So if there were any challenges, and this is what we can look in a personal chart reading, like look, what decade are you facing? First of all, your 10-year decade. And then, what are the the energies would stand out in what area. Is that finances? Is this is a business? Is that your health, or etc.? So that could be more like personalized for you based on your birth hour. Okay, great question, Michelle. Anybody else? Prudence.
Yeah,
I,
do you plan to
oh.
take a bunch of us to China with you also at some point in time?
Yeah, I will share that. I will share after the Prudence finish her question. But basically, this experience regarding my health journey definitely have empowered me or gave me a great vision that I am committed to start teaching next year, in the next spring, to teach Feng Shui, and then using as a practical application. And it's going to be in a three-month segments, and either every segment, like the 3-month segment, will end up either in Europe or US for practical application through the workshops or tours. And then after the 9 months program, I will seek for the opportunity to bring the group to China. So I think to learn to step on China, because for me, that was most transformative. If there will be, as I said, if there will be students, the teachers will appear. And I'm actually feeling very, very excited to pull the trigger and go back in teaching, especially time is the essence, and I would like to leave a legacy, and I would like to teach and give a practical guidance that could be easy applied, but also could be valuable to on a daily basis. So yes, China.
Yes, that's awesome.
For your request. So yes, Prudence, you had a question.
Hi, yes, good to see you. So I was just thinking about what you had said about the fire horse, that the focus is movement, freedom, and passion. And I just wondered, how that those terms, movement, freedom, passion, focusing on outward, does that mean that in the spirit of that year, that you're sort of encouraged to be trying to expand, what you're doing, or relate, being more out in society more? Is that a little bit more of what that means?
Okay,
like
maybe.
freedom, I don't really know how that looks when you bring it into your own life.
Yeah. So this is maybe because I was rushing and I was looking at the time, and maybe I skipped something very important regarding the year of a horse. Year of a horse. I mean, horse through the cultures and through so many cultures and mythologies historically has been one of the most important, like, animal energetically, that connects earth and heaven. And when we think about the transitions, horse is the representation of presence, like present moment. Like recent, like healing arts, when we think about where the horses have been brought back to, to the, let's say, for to like veterans from that suffering from the from the PSD or children with the other kind of nervous disorders, somehow working with horses or healing with horses, it brings to their natural kind of adapts to the natural kind of calm.
Hey guys, it's Cheryl from Witch Hop Diaries.
Healing state, right? And when images that horse represents is not that physical galloping, on earth, but it's actually your spiritual development and bring that outwards. So if year of a snake allows you to kind of self-intuitively integrate, like self-reflect, just going deeper, like journaling, reflecting, forgiving, purging, releasing, then we finally, the horse allows, like, stands up above the ground, okay, like a dragon. It's powerful, it's industrious, but that brings the freedom, not freedom to chaotic, but freedom to speak the truth, or allow the spirit to connect directly. I mean, think about the images of the Pegasus, right? Or why do the gods of the Greeks would have used the horses to transition from the earth to the divine, to the sky, right? Or when the saying about shamans, there's all the shamans, shaman without a horse is like the bird without the wings. These are such a powerful statements that has been for thousands of years. So horse, where maybe 100 years ago, it was still the one major kind of for the agriculture and like horsepower for plowing the fields and in economy, that it was this element of the horse was forgotten, in the last, I would say, last 50 years at least, right? Because it's like we kind of get, but this coming decade, or this coming 20-year decade that we have, it should bring horse holistic ability, because horse, when you bring this to in among of the people, it would be the fastest way to integrate. Horse has ability to resonate with a healthy human being, the same like a bees. So this was the healing properties becoming so essential. So when we speak about the correlating to this spirit of the horse, right? These opportunities next year, that freedom is our ability to expand our belief system, our cultivation, what we do. So for example, going to China to the ceremony, to being initiated and everything else, that is the part of almost like that's that snake year, the preparation. And the next year we're like, okay, I'm committed to the practice, or I'm committed to do what we need to do. Does that answer your question, Prudence?
Well, I think, what I hear is you're saying it the way I'm interpreting it is like, if, maybe your heart's desire, you bring that forward, and there's, that has movement, that the intention that's coming from the heart, like what you were saying, like, now I'm going to bring my teaching forward. So there's that year, this coming year, there's the energy and the support in the world for that to move, for that to develop and go forward.
Yeah, because you also have to think about, I mean, there will be a lot of things already. I've seen it on the social media and on internet, how there's a lot of fear and a lot of aggression has been posted, because that is the very primitive association by fire element. Okay, because we but how about if we actually prioritize and think about the fire as the act of your heart, and by what we see and by what we feel. And horse energy, or horse is actually physically, when you come to I have very vivid experience. I was in Colorado, and I was like 25, actually it was 30 years ago. And I was in Colorado at the ranch, and I went for the evening to I see the horses in a field. And I was just walking down, and I was thinking, I'll just stand and observe. The horses came, the 5 of them, the big animals. I was standing, not moving, and they came around me and surpassed me. Of course, I was like natural. I was like, holy, what is gonna happen? I got I did got kind of in my gut feeling. It was a full moon. to this day, I remember that kind of that butterflies and anxiety a little bit up here. And then suddenly it pivoted and became like quiet, silent, and like almost like rock standing like shell. So this year of the horse, even it's fire, because inner self of the horse is the fire. There's a tremendous amount of love. So if we focus on love and a horse energy as a fire, like that passion, then there's no fear and anger and the other negative emotion should be pointed out. If we do this, and then we add the vision of the snake, the trained X-ray vision, that being trained. Think about also sequence. Why does the 12 animals in astrology, why does after tiger is a rabbit, after rabbit is a dragon, after dragon is a snake, after snake is a horse? Do you see the kind of up and down kind of transition? The transitions in Chinese metaphysics, it does not happen like in a very kind of abrupt way. Everything is smoothly, the qi quality is linked. So we cannot deny what happened in the year of a snake. We can only take that with us and bring it to the surface, bring it to the light through love, through compassion. So I think self-love will be a big thing next year. Self-love, not ego love, but self-love, like genuinely doing the practice, teaching, practicing, bringing out, talking about, and being present to the moment. So yeah, I'm very passionate about this year. There's I will post a link of one of the videos that I watched just recently that was very, very inspiring and talks about the horse energy, not maybe in a traditional way, but this could be really helpful to understand the spiritual, like, what does the horse energy means? And that was about this horses are the ones that bring our awareness from mind to spirit. So, yeah. Anything else? Any other questions, comments? Michelle?
Yeah, Ailita, hi. I have a quick question about the Chinese months. If you could maybe explain how that works, because I always thought that each new moon was a new Chinese month. But then you said now we're still in the dog, but the new moon was on the 21st. So I thought we were already in the pig. So could you explain that to me?
Okay. It's going to take a little longer to explain it, but so in Chinese astrology, there are larger cycles, like there's a moon cycle and sun cycle. Like, the largest cycle is the sun cycle, right? That's when we usually around February 4th, that's where the solar cycle ends and we can calculate our Feng Shui number accordingly. Then we have a lunar months, like there's a 12 lunar months, and with the time sometimes also we get the double months. But in adults we have also seasons, and there's also 24 chi nodes. The 24 chi nodes do not start and end with the lunar cycle. This is another integrated system which was more to observe what's happening in the farmland, how to cultivate the land, how to actually behave. So there's another layer to it. And just to correct, like right now, today is the year of a wood snake, day of the goat, metal goat, month of the fire dog. Right now, where you are in California, it's the hour of the horse, but I'm already in the hour of the pig in Florence, right? So it depends. So there's the cycle within a cycle within a cycle. And yeah, it's just gets a different way describing the certain seasonal patterns. So yeah, there's no wrong or right, but right now is the month of the dog, okay? And the month of the dog is gonna end. So this is a really good time to so the month of the dog, last day of the month of the dog is November 19th. Okay, the November 20th will be month of the pig starts. So how interesting is this? Is like we preparing ourselves for Thanksgiving. You know, it's like this right now that we connect to the families. We really embrace our ancestry. There's a lot of rituals take place as commemorating the ancestry, the ones who are deceased or the ones also the elder, or we coming together to our roots, you know, to coming back to our, you know, where we coming from, like where the knowledge comes from. So again, another layer. For me, going to China, to the Taoist temple, to the birthplace of Taoism during this month is actually very, very significant, right? Just to commemorate. Then you introduce the November, which will be months of the pig, and that will allow us to kind of celebrate. It's like as a pig, as the epic of the alchemy, right? So when we take the alchemy and our joyous kind of way to use the pig energy to be friendly, to be accommodating, to be in connection in so many levels, that again prepares us for reset, which will be then following December will be month of the rat, etc. So, but if you're interested in specifically how the months where the breakage of the chi notes, I can share that with you if that will be helpful. I will share the newsletter.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Any other comments?
Hi, Alicia. Thank you. This is
Hi.
Lisa. Thank you for sharing your news. I'm sorry to hear that you've been going through a lot, but hope that your next procedure goes really, really well.
That's easy. Yes, thank you.
So we finally just are at the end of our construction. It's been a very extended, long period.
Okay.
And so I'm excited when I read your announcement for this about the fire horse as being bold and free and full of momentum. That really just, that made me so happy and it gave me some momentum to for next year. So I'm curious if you could talk just a little about a water rat with the opposing fire horse in the new year.
Okay. So first of all, you have a rat in what is it, your year or the hour?
Year, and I have the horse in the hour.
Okay, so if it's your year, that means you have to be mindful about the commitment to the projects that you have. Okay, because you don't want to spin in like, you know, like a rat, like in a like hamster in a wheel, right? Because remember the opportunities and the visions that even the biggest rat would ever have will never surpass what the smallest horse can have. So horses could give you a bigger, bolder sense of the viewpoint, okay? Where as a rat, what will be recommended is to use the months of the right now, the dog, the pig, and the rat for your collective. Who are your friends? Who is your collective pool? Because remember, rat energy loves the companionship. You love the community. So this, who are your alliances? Who is your kind of, what is your team? You know, who is in your team? If you become alone, like a lonely rat, it's a survival game. Okay, then I would be very mindful how you compete to the outside world. But if your hour is a horse hour in the next year, then I would say be more independent and determined. So strategize this year how you're going to utilize your team or skill set, and allow then to dictate from your know-how, from your inner know-how. Like, you know, I feel this is basically you bring your properties of the horse to act out So it's going to be more stronger for your inner self or who you are at heart. So that's going to be required. So that should be the dominant next year for you. Does that make sense? Do you understand how I, because even it's diametrics, right? When we talk about the opposition between the rat and diametrics of the horse, which is the midday towards the midnight. The rat is about anything energetically, how we have a closure from one day to the other. You know, one day ends, a new day begins. It's almost like a reset. So next year, your reset, you wanna make sure you don't exhaust yourself by resetting too often. Your decision making, you know, your consistency, it should, how to say, you should stay consistent with your strategy, but the strategy has to be developed this year. You use year of a snake. Okay, so that means then your qualities as a rat become safe and skewed because you have a strategy. And then you can next year you can use all the qualities that you have as a horse.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. So don't think about, I know it's sometimes you think about diametrics. Remember, when you have a diametrics within your chart, this is a beautiful lifetime opportunity for you to actually develop, to actually bring your karmic commitments this lifetime in a kind of faster paced. Okay, all you need to do is recognize when you are act like a rat, when you are a community player, and when you are a leader or a competitor as a horse, or being very industrious and practical, or like hands-on. So yeah, I hope that helps, and we can take advantage of my special offering for 2026 chart readings. This is a special rate I offer for 180 right now, which is a half off from the for the 2026. So
That's great. Can you remind again when that's available? You said
it's available now. You can book. You can purchase now. It's available till the mid-November. You can book, and we can use it also when I come back after China. So yeah, just text me or in the newsletter. I'll send a link.
Oh, great. Oh, okay. Well, bon voyage to China.
Thank you. Yes, anything else? Any other comments, questions?
Hi, Alita, it's Margaret.
Hello, Margaret.
Hello.
Good to see you, darling.
Good to see
yes,
you.
I can see something.
I'm wearing it just for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was just wondering if you could give like the top 3 for the rest of the year, no matter what animal you are. Such like, what would you really, because we really just have November and December of 2025, and I know that it carries into
No, we have it in
2026.
January. No, we have a time till the February 17th. It's
Okay.
quite a.
So what are the big things you really want us to focus on that will really move the needle for us all?
I mean, we still have 3 months to dig deep. One of my associations were just a couple of days ago, my kids, where they burned the chocolate on the bottom of the kettle, like on the pot, right? And they left the pot to the next day, they would clean next day, which is okay. But now by association, so the scraping of the last bits and pieces from the burned bottom of that pot is that whatever we can still find, or even we think, oh, I already forgotten, or I already forgiven, I'm already did this, it's never enough. We can do another layer of letter of forgiveness to ourselves, even even just to any of that's been, because year of a snake really gives us this 20-year, we can dig something out of the past 2 decades. There still could be something, and it's okay if it kind of lingers upwards, that you can release it. So let us release as much as we can
So
this year.
when you say dig something out, you mean kind of take an inventory if there's anything else you need to release?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it just that release, that forgiveness, because I mean, I know my own journey this year brought so many aspects, financially, health-wise, family-wise, and all at the same time. And there's no room, no time to suppress that or to kind of hide that. So I revealing that openly within myself. That's what the snake eyes will help me to really inwardly to turn. And it's like, because this is the dialogue is between me, the spirit, and divine. And in the spiritual realm, you cannot hide a thing. Nothing. We can hide things in a human realm. In a spiritual realm, everything is transparent. So when we transition, can our transparency be a crystal clear as we face the February 17th? That is a very subjective way to looking at it of it. That's really diminishing the ego. So when we become this in a humbled way, then our kind of stepping into the energy of the horse, that it's very direct, very honest, very down to earth, right? That can bring that spirit. That is that the pure heart that could be brought up to the higher level. I think that's the most important part. The awareness, self-awareness. I wish I would have used the image, but this morning when I was coming from yoga in Florence at Palazzo Strozzi, was the opening of the new exhibit, then grounds, and it was about messaging. So I will add that image. Cannot share that right now, but I did post on Instagram, and it made me think this is our, everywhere we go, we look at our phones, right? And can we put that aside? Can we actually look at our reality, not through the screen? I mean, I love this reality because I can do my work, right? But I'm also looking for like in-person reality, right? But when we have an opportunity, when you have a person, human being across from yourself, to be observant and connect, that is the priority of another thing that's important. Like, what are your connections? How do you cultivate your connections before you entering the year of the horse? Okay. Self-reflection, forgiving, connecting, purifying. These are the very, very basic. And saving the chi, saving the energy. Right now, we don't need to rush. We don't need to overextend ourselves. It's the bringing that peace, the calmness, the judgment, criticizing. No, that is again, we shedding the energy that is actually adds the chaos to the outside world. So I would not, it's not like I'm suppressing, but it's like I'm not engaging in it. I want to engage something that is beautiful, heartfelt, good for the next generations, and expansive, but light. That brings me to the light. The routine, getting into the routine, the practice and routine, Those are three things, just the best, because then it's a very easy transition. Because can you imagine if there's the very fast moving horse bangs your door and says, hey, let's go on a ride, and you're not physically or mentally equipped to do so, to be adventurous. That's what it takes. That would take that calmness, that realization to it. So beautiful, Margaret, and you're doing fantastic. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much. Love you.
Who else? What else? Any other questions? Comments? Okay. Well, then I would definitely will edit. And my apologies for the beginning of it. I guess the experience that I had at the very first of the year, maybe just kind of energetically was still this nervousness if somebody enters inappropriately. So yeah, because honestly, this has been the first Zoom Feng Shui Connect call since January. So well, I wish everyone a beautiful rest of the day and rest of the year. Please follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I will keep you updated about the upcoming classes. It's most likely that's going to be start with the February, like everything, like it starts in spring. So to the mythology, but I will talk more about it in either through the newsletter, and feel free for taking advantage of the special that's going to be also as link to, you can do Venmo or Zelle directly for the special. And those who are listening, I also very, very grateful and thankful for continuous support of the Little Monks Project. Sanjay has his baby boy number 2, and the family is growing, but it also, we have just financed with your support, those who have, we have financed the special empowerment, a monthly retreat in Bhutan, that six of the little monks and the Sanjay Dorje were participating as we speak, still there. There's just a few more days our empowerment is taking place. So I'm very, very grateful for the community that I have. I'm grateful for who showed up and those who are also going to show up. And that's it. So have a wonderful rest of the day, and reach out through WhatsApp or email or text. Okay.
Awesome.
Ciao for now.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Ailita.
Thanks.